The ancient stone beneath Holt's boots crunched as he advanced through the rubble of collapsed temple walls. His crimson quantum spurs left glowing footprints in the dust, each step marking his passage through what had once been the sacred heart of brief civilization. The perpetual twilight of Volkmar Prime flickered between natural darkness and the orange glow of burning structures, casting shifting shadows that danced across the devastation. His armor's sensors detected movement ahead, brief survivors attempting to regroup in the temple's lower levels. The quantum spurs pulsed brighter as he quickened his pace, silver bullets ready in his sidearm, 7 rounds. He would make them count. The first vampire emerged from behind a fallen pillar, its obsidian skin almost invisible in the shadows until yellow eyes betrayed its position. Ancient beyond human reckoning, this one bore the ritual scarification of a high-ranking priest. Holt's enhanced reflexes responded before conscious thought. The silver bullet took the creature's center mass, and it collapsed with a shriek that echoed through the ruins. 6 rounds remaining. "Command center to all units," crackled a transmission through Holt's armor comm system, picking up brief communications. "The cattle have reached the breeding sanctuaries. Evacuate the archives before—" The transmission cut to static as another civilian ship scored a direct hit on a communications array somewhere above. But Holt had heard enough. Breeding sanctuaries, the heart of their desperate attempts to perpetuate their dying race. He moved deeper into the temple complex, following the ancient corridors that led toward the underground chambers. The architecture here was older than human civilization, carved from living rock and decorated with grotesque reliefs depicting feeding rituals and blood ceremonies. The walls themselves seemed to drink in his armor's illumination, creating pools of absolute darkness between the crimson trails of his spurs. A group of 3 brief blocked his path. Younger vampires, their scarification patterns indicating centuries rather than millennia of age. They hissed at his approach, fangs extended, moving with the fluid grace of apex predators who had never known fear. Until now. Holt's first shot took the leftmost vampire in the throat, the silver bullet causing a reaction that burned through undead flesh like acid. The second round found its mark as the center vampire lunged, silver punching through its chest and erupting from its back in a spray of dark ichor. The third vampire actually reached him before the final bullet dropped it 3 feet away, close enough that its claws scratched sparks from his armor. 3 rounds remaining. The corridor opened into a vast chamber carved from the planet's bedrock. What Holt saw there would haunt even his enhanced memory. Row upon row of medical equipment, surgical tables, and containment pods stretching into the darkness. The failed experiments of a dying race, desperate to find a way to extend their existence through hybrid offspring. Emergency lighting cast harsh shadows over examination tables stained with the blood of human prisoners. Monitors still displayed vital signs from subjects long since dead. In the center of it all stood a massive apparatus that could only be described as a breeding chamber, a grotesque fusion of medical technology and ritual altar designed to force biological compatibility between species that neither God or nature had ever intended to merge. "Sector Command, this is Research Division," another transmission filtered through the static. "The breeding programs have been terminated, all genetic material secured. Recommend immediate evacuation of—" Holt switched to a different frequency, picking up human chatter from the chaos above. "Bob's here. I've got visual on the big temple complex. Looks like someone's already inside. Bigoted to all units. The orbital platforms are down. Repeat, orbital defenses are neutralized. Unknown. Night vessel crashed near the primary structure. Anyone have eyes on the pilot? This is Commander Caldwell, approaching from Grid 77. All civilian units be advised official military assets are entering the system. Recommend you maintain current operations until further notice." Military assets. The regular forces were finally arriving, bringing their regulations and their insistence on proper rules of engagement. Holt's quantum spurs flared as he considered the implications. Soon, some admiral would order a halt to the destruction, demanding surrender negotiations and prisoner protocols for creatures that had never shown mercy to anyone. A sound from deeper in the chamber drew his attention, the labored breathing of something large and ancient hiding in the shadows beyond the breathing apparatus. Holt advanced cautiously, his remaining bullets ready. What he found in the darkness was High Priest Irenicus himself, wounded and bleeding from shrapnel that had torn through even his reinforced hide. The vampire's yellow eyes tracked Holt's approach with the resignation of a creature that had finally met its match. "The Crimson Hunter," Irenicus wheezed, dark blood frothing from his mouth. "The prophecy speaks true. From among the cattle, a predator to hunt predators." "I'm not interested in your mythology," Holt replied, raising his sidearm. "I'm here for justice." "Justice?" The ancient vampire's laugh was a wet, rasping sound. "You destroy a dying race. We have not successfully bred in 3 centuries. The youngest of us has seen 400 summers. We are already extinct. You merely hasten the inevitable." Holt's finger tightened on the trigger, but something in the vampire's words made him pause. "Then why continue the experiments? Why torture human prisoners if you knew it was futile?" "Because the alternative is accepting extinction." Irenicus struggled to sit upright against the machinery that had consumed his species' final years. "We are the last generation, human. When we fall, 10 millennia of civilization dies with us. The rituals, the blood chronology, the songs of the hunt that predate your species' first words, and 35,624 humans died for your vanity," Holt said, his voice flat with contained rage. 35,600 and... Irenicus' eyes widened. "You remember them all. Every name, every death, every single one." Holt's quantum spurs pulsed brighter. "Every face, every scream, every moment of agony you inflicted on people who had families, children, futures." The vampire high priest stared at him with something approaching wonder. The prophecy spoke of this as well. The hunter who would carry the weight of all the fallen, who would remember what we would forget. "I don't care about your prophecies," Holt repeated, but his voice carried less conviction than before. The weight of 35,624 names pressed against his consciousness, demanding vengeance for their bearer. "No," Irenicus agreed. "You care only for the dead, as is right, as is just." The ancient vampire closed his eyes. "We fed on your species because we could. We tortured because it amused us. We experimented because we were desperate, all of it evil, all of it deserving of the fire you have brought to our world." Holt's sidearm remained trained on the dying vampire. "Then you accept judgment?" "I accept inevitability." Irenicus opened his eyes one final time. "But know this, Crimson Hunter, when the last of us falls, something will be lost from this galaxy. We are monsters, yes, but we are also the repository of knowledge older than your civilizations. When we die, that dies with us." "Good," Holt said, and pulled the trigger. The silver bullet took the high priest between the eyes, and 10,000 years of vampiric civilization died with the ancient creature's final breath. 2 rounds remaining. Above, the sounds of battle intensified as more human ships entered the fray. Holt's comm system picked up increasing chatter from official military channels. "Admiral Dracolesti to all vessels, this is 7th Fleet Command. All unauthorized vessels are ordered to withdraw immediately and submit to military coordination." "Negative, Admiral," came a response from one of the civilian ships. "We didn't come this far to be told to stand down now. Captain, you are operating in violation of..." "We're operating in violation of nothing. These are our weapons, our ships, our fight. We'll finish what we started." Be advised, 7th Fleet is prepared to enforce compliance with. The transmission was suddenly flooded with rapid-fire Mandarin as thousands of new contacts appeared on the edge of the system. Chinese voices filled every frequency, battle cries, tactical coordination, prayers and curses mixing into a linguistic storm that overwhelmed the comm networks. The voices start rattling off a bunch of things in Chinese, but Holt can't make heads or tails of it. He doesn't commit any of his suit's translator power to it either. He had a war to fight here and now. The official military channels devolved into chaos as hundreds of civilian captains responded simultaneously in multiple languages, their words blending into a cacophony of defiance and determination from across human space. Holt climbed back through the temple ruins toward the surface, leaving the breeding chambers and their obscene machinery behind. The fight above was entering a new phase, and he intended to be part of it. Whatever pompous admiral thought they could impose order on this righteous chaos would learn the same lesson the brief were learning. Some enemies deserved no mercy, and some wars could not be fought by committee. As he emerged from the underground complex, the sky above Volkmar Prime told the story of systematic destruction. Hundreds of temple complexes burned across the planet's surface. Orbital defenses drifted as lifeless debris. The perpetual twilight had been replaced by the hellish glow of a civilization in its death throes. And now, descending from high orbit in perfect formation, came the ships of the official fleet, battle cruisers and carriers bearing the insignia of legitimate military authority, their quantum drives casting regulation blue trails across the burning sky. They would try to stop this, try to save the remaining vampires in the name of proper procedure and civilized warfare. Holt's quantum spurs pulsed blood red against the night as he watched the fleet's approach. His sidearm held 2 silver bullets, not enough for what was coming. But then again, he had never planned to fight this war alone. The real test was about to begin. Many thanks to channel member Wes Davies for making this video possible. Many thanks to my channel members and Pathfinders. You all make these videos possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to this story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.